one's particularly interesting?
Is Kylie Jenner back?
Hey.
Is she back to the billionaire list?
No, this is not related to that. This is WhatsApp is soundly beaten a stunning new. Welcome back to another episode of the Self-Taught Novice Podcast with myself, Yarako, the one and only beardless guy, fresh looking, Silas Bempo. And I have the other people on the podcast, Datio Bay and Maxo Dankwa. They don't have any specialties about it, so I'm keeping it raw. Welcome, guys. How you guys
Another
doing?
episode, STN, I'm alive and kicking as well.
How has your week been?
It's been a wet week.
That's why you laughing. No, why is Silas laughing? No, Maxwell.
Wet.
No, Maxwell. Yeah. Why is Silas laughing? That's what I don't understand. Don't try to explain it. I don't know why. Because it literally has been wet.
It's been wet in the most non-sensual way possible.
I'm sorry.
But you, God.
I'm sorry.
Silas, you need to be put on a leash.
I'm sorry. I need to cleanse my mind. I'm very sorry.
You had just one job, Silas. Do one.
Yeah, just one job to do. Just one job.
I mean, it would have been okay if you didn't mention. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. All right. So yeah. Basic week. Wet's been raining, but life goes on basically. And aside my regular gym work, which I've been trying to get Obin on board, but he's not minding me. Apparently, he likes belly fat and he thinks chunky looks good on
the
him.
dad board, yeah. The dad board.
Yeah.
That's
So,
very great.
aside that,
It's a symbol for wealth.
the usual.
Obin, how's your week been?
Pretty eventful. I mean, things are picking up gradually. And certain things are, like certain pieces of the puzzle.
The students are
coming
in,
together.
are they?
Most are in. Most working on projects are in. Yeah. So others to also
But
join.
school hasn't reopened yet, right?
No, but then we have a substantive date. I can't mention it here though, but then yeah.
Because it's government secret, right?
Sort of, and also too, it isn't public. The university hasn't made it public yet, so I'm not the PRO. I'm not the URO. Yeah. So I can't. So yeah, but then I mean, off the record, we can discuss it. But then besides that, it's been pretty eventful. Though I think today I feel very tired and weak. I don't know if it's because I didn't sleep well or because I'm hungry or something. I don't really know. Because
you've been around, You've been around the block, haven't you? You've had a lot going on physically, huh?
Yes. I mean,
right.
It looks like I lost my appetite a little bit because I just took a drink and bread. So I hope it's not the virus, but then it's just my immune system trying to fight something inside me. I don't know why Silas is still laughing.
I'm very sorry. But for me, my week has been okay. I think I started reading a book, or I actually went back to a book after finishing Essentialism. So I've been reading.
Stop it.
Oh yeah, I finished reading. So
this is why I get tired of the two of you and I leave.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I've been recommended a book, so obviously I have to read it. Like, yeah, it's definitely a good book by George McKenna. So you should definitely go and read it.
Silas, your tongue has been busy licking Obin's boots for a while now, especially with respect to this book. Now I want to tone it down.
I mean,
right?
I enjoy a good book. So. And right now I'm reading Super Intelligence by Nick Bostrom.
What's it about?
Philosopher. Yeah, so it's basically talking about like the impact of, or should I say, that's if we don't really take care about the development that surrounds artificial intelligence. It might come and haunt us
Can you send me?
He's gone like
send me the title. Send me the title in Slack so that I get the ebook.
Yeah. Basically, you download the pirated version. Just speak up.
I get the ebook.
We all know.
But basically, he talks about. He makes a very solid argument about intelligent explosion. Then he makes that comparison to the Industrial Revolution and then the steam engine and all that. So
does he mention the singularity?
Oh yeah, he does. He does mention all of that. I mean, he really went into details as to like what we should fear.
It's funny.
Quote intelligence explosion.
It's funny how Maxwell will call us nerds. Then when he finishes, he just drops nerdy words and just pretends as if he's a normal human being.
Yeah, the point is
which normal human being has singularity in their vocabulary, and which has a meaning beyond the fact that it's singular.
Well, I read a lot. I watch a lot of documentaries.
You're a nerd.
So what does that say about you?
So stop pretending like you're a normal. Yo. He doesn't do nerdy stuff. He's cool. He's too cool for school kind of vibe.
Yeah, you Bob. Like nerds.
Anyway,
I'm sure you're probably the most biggest nerd amongst us. Just that probably like amongst us. I have the look, but like mentally, you are the biggest nerd. Just saying.
Yep.
Oh well, let's get.
We were just supposed to do an intro. That's all. We seem to be doing too much. Okay, time to take over. Get lost, the two of you. Today we have a lot on the bill. Big stories, interesting stuff. If we do get time, we'll just zoom past. We'll zoom through the Apple event which just happened a couple of hours ago. Yeah. So today we're starting with stories. We're talking about Slack, right? Slack basically is going the right way to match other social media platforms, and they really bettered themselves. If you noticed this,
it's interesting you use the word right
way. This is going to go south.
Oh, really? You disagree? Okay. Well, anyway, you see, a lot of platforms have gone under a lot of reinvention during this pandemic period. Some for good, some for bad. We saw so many video chat platforms try to really up their game to match the popularity of Zoom. In the same vein, Slack, because a lot of people are working from home and it's a typical productivity platform, they have also gone out of their way to give their app a relatively homely feeling. Like they want you to feel like you're using WhatsApp, I guess. I don't think much research went into this because we use Slack, apparently some of us are not too pleased about it. So what has Slack done?
It's shocking to be honest.
Yeah. What has Slack done? Slack, hold on. God, did I just flip the wrong story? Okay, hold on.
I don't think you did.
I would have to hold on. That'll take me a minute. Yeah, I have the story now. Okay, so this is coming from The Verge, published on 7th October. It's a bit late anyway. And what's the headline? Slack is getting Instagram-like stories and push-to-talk audio calls for the pandemic era.
I disagree with the headline though. It should have been Snapchat-like stories, not Instagram. It's funny how right now,
who owns Snapchat now?
No one owns Snapchat.
Okay, I thought they sold out.
Do you know a funny thing? The people who are loyal on Snapchat are still loyal on Snapchat.
Snapchat is private. It's very private.
Exactly. Because I know someone, this girl on her WhatsApp status, what she posts on the WhatsApp status and what she posts on the Snapchat, bro,
different.
I said,
I mean, she's like the church girl on WhatsApp, and she's like, yeah.
I mean, different audience.
Exactly. That
is to create the content to meet.
She's creating content for the
different audiences.
You need to know your audiences so that you can actually create better content to get maximum traction.
I'm sure she ups up
social media marketing.
I'm sure she ups up her content on Snap when she was on OnlyFans. She probably doubles down on raunchy.
I mean, you should know your market.
I mean, like you have an OnlyFans account, right? You look like you have an OnlyFans account. You look like you are really making the paper rain on OnlyFans, aren't you?
Hey.
Anyway, reading the story, Slack is getting ready to introduce Instagram-like stories and push-to-talk audio into its communication software before the end of 2020. Both additions are born out of the shift to remote working, that's working from home during the pandemic era, that we are all adjusting to. Slack is hoping
the way you mentioned during the pandemic era, it looks like we are out of it.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the pandemic is still ongoing, right? Or
it's been like 6 months.
And a lot of people don't realize it. Slack is hoping these features might cut down on constant video calls for inefficient text conversations and bring back the impromptu office interaction. Oh God, this is such a bad idea. And bring back the impromptu office interactions most people haven't experienced for months. While Instagram stories are designed to share your everyday life experiences with friends and family, Slack stories aren't really about videos of your pets, favorite food, or vacations. Slack sees the video snippets as a way for remote workers to check in and provide various updates, for example, or to set the daily agenda for the team. They found a nice way to frame that they are copying the same thing.
I mean, it's obvious that they are copying it.
No, but then this story is who's the audience? The people in your office. Like,
apparently
the story, the three of us.
No, so like apparently, because I mean, not in Ghana or probably in our circle, for instance, but like probably in the US, there are lots of remote teams that like are heavily dependent on Slack for team communication. So and for them like this, remember like unlike Microsoft, where like you have Microsoft Teams, like Microsoft Teams like basically has all the features you need for like proper, shall I say, work culture, lifestyle, sort of. But Slack is just like conversation, text, document section, all that. So them adding this feature is sort of like, shall I say, like competing against Microsoft Teams, sort of like leveraging their video functionality into the application. So because they make a fair argument that the idea is basically meant. So their argument is that they are basically introducing this for small agile teams, where and an agile team, or should I say the agile methodology for.
As you see yourself ever using this feature, does it provide a need?
I mean, it might do it. So like
let's say you are getting rid of bugs in a software or code, and you just take a short story, you show it to your colleague, and like, is this a problem? Something like that. Is that practical?
I mean, it is practical, not for the example you give you, but for the agile methodology, where like you have daily stand-ups. So in a daily stand-up, you have daily stand-up usually lasts for 15 minutes.
Is that like Scrum?
Yeah, that's a Scrum. Scrum agile. That's all part of it. So every day, 15 minutes, you're supposed to give updates on what you have done, what you did yesterday, what you do today, and any blocker. So them having this functionality basically sort of makes it personal, because Slack has bots that actually do that, where like you basically type in your communication. That's like what you have, what you're supposed to do, and implementing your way and all that. So now they're basically saying, you basically like sort of video yourself saying that. I don't know how great.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly as you put it. Yeah, he says there was a joke going around that soon all software will have it, and I thought, okay, let me go back. It's very much like Instagram stories or Snapchat stories, but in Slack. It's how CEO Stuart Butterfield explained the new stories video feature in an interview with The Verge. He says there was a joke going around. I thought it was funny at the time, but especially during the pandemic, and the difference in how we as a company are approaching work means it's an idea that its time has come, basically. Instead of having a 15-minute daily stand-up meetings, you can record the video earlier and get rid of the 15-minute meeting, as Silas put it. So yeah, they think that, well, of course, it looks like a very niche innovation that's going to address just a tiny group of people who might probably be more appreciative than someone who uses it for basically not so work-related use purposes, isn't it?
Yeah. But for me, I mean, I don't really. I mean, I feel like the daily bot. So Slack has this plugin called Daily Bot that basically asks you the questions I stated earlier on.
Yeah.
So you basically ask you what you did and basically type it out. And typing won't probably take you 15 minutes to do as compared to you're recording a video of yourself, making sure like your angle is okay, your background is clean, and all that, just to give an update.
Making sure you slate. Yeah, basically.
Just to give an update on what you're working on.
Do you do that? Do you do that yourself?
I take a video of myself and give that beat.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
No. I don't do that. I mean, but would you appreciate a function like this and use it for work?
Me or Bing?
I mean, both of you.
Me no.
Bing, take this one.
We're looking at how my work is. The only way I see using this is hello. Okay, so I'm typing this. Okay, all of you.
I mean,
work from home.
Oben will use it to flex because he has a good camera. He has like this whole setup going on there. So it's like a bit of a flex for it.
Did you see? I saw a picture of I think the Google, one of the Google VPs or something. His work from home setup. So it was really nice. It was really nice. I don't remember why I saw it.
Sorry to cut you, but this reminded me of Mark Zuckerberg and then MKB. The video he posted like 2 weeks back.
Yeah, it's talking.
Anyone noticed the video quality of Zuckerberg's camera or like his feed?
Yes.
Like it was too clean. Like that was
he's probably using 6G in its beta stage. Won't be too surprised.
Because for once he made MKBHD look like an amateur in terms of like
it's like even the background was the blur, the composition in the back looks so nice that the blur added more substance to the picture quality.
Why he did a whole bokeh effect thing or what?
Yes. No. There was no bokeh, but then it was quite blurred, but there was no light in it. It was so serene and simple.
Okay. Yeah, big deal. Zuckerberg, MKBHD. Next story.
For anyone listening, Maxwell is an MKBHD hater. Just so you know.
I'm not a bandwagon person.
No, you're just a hater. I'm just saying.
Well, there are better terms for what I am, but I'll settle for that. Anyway, next story. Instagram makes old stories easier to find alongside new anti-bullying features. This comes from The Verge again, 6th October. This should be an interesting one. Instagram, which is Facebook owned, is adding, I had to just put that in there. Instagram is adding
They even do that when you open the app.
No. Instagram is adding new features to help users find old stories posted over the last 3 years and to reduce abusive behavior. The Stories archive now includes a new monthly calendar view, which shows the days you posted each story alongside a map which shows story locations. TechCrunch reports. Instagram also announced a pair of new anti-bullying features which attempt to automatically hide potential abusive comments while discouraging users from posting them in the first place, much like Twitter. Given that stories are designed to disappear automatically after 24 hours, it's likely surprising to many that Instagram has an archive for them going back years. The Stories archive actually dates back to 2017.
But then you know that Facebook owns Instagram, so why are you shocked?
I mean,
they never let you throw away any information, I guess.
No one, even Snapchat has like all the stories backed up somewhere.
Have you tried deleting your Facebook account before? Like you literally can't.
Yes, I tried years ago. But then
I think Obe mentioned that sometime back.
Yeah, I tried.
They would always give you a reason.
Before I had this account, that was like 6, 7, 8 years ago.
You wanted to start from scratch with a new account.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a lot of what?
Questionable
posts and stuff.
So, yeah. So apparently Facebook has 30,000 servers.
Oh God.
And the host
and Snapchat uses Google Cloud, so they are leveraging Google's data centers for service.
So Charlie, they have enough infrastructure and logistics and resources to host your 5 seconds stories. What I know about Facebook that even if you delete it yourself, it's on their server. So
I mean, regardless of anything, like until someone in the backend manually
deletes it, yeah.
But funny enough, there's actually a backup of all the
that stuff.
So until you delete the backup of the backup, then that's when you can be.
But let's speak more to this so-called anti-bullying features and what is basically automatically hiding potentially abusive comments. And before you post them, I think I heard it on a podcast, a bit more information about this feature. They said when you post a comment and probably, I'm sure it's AI targeting. When you post a comment and it probably has certain key expletives or foul or swear words, it will hide it. And that's if you go as far as posting it and give an opt-in to view or not. So it just won't be available for, viewing. But also before you're about to post it, it's going to ask you or do a cross-check to see whether you would you do want to post it. So more or less trying to appeal to your conscience. But then how does this line up with the liberty, free speech and all that? Because this is always a contentious area. The tech
what do you mean by
platform
free speech per se?
Free speech, because a lot of people think that if you are censoring in a certain way, much like the case with they saying Trump is spreading misinformation, but he feels he's making a point. And they're like, Twitter is flagging his posts for, let's say, being a bit far from the truth. So now they are flagging your comment. If I say, if I say, let's say, Silas, get that raggedy hair off your head, for example. Get that like
I must also get problem plus your hair.
Okay.
He has made your views.
Okay, so get that mess off your head. Just for the sake of making
get that mess off. Just to drive your free speech.
No. But really, who else can I make a point about right now? You. So I say that to Silas, and Instagram says that I can't post it, or they don't go say that. They warn me that, do you really want to say something? It might be offensive. And then when I do go ahead to post it, they basically hide it and let people click. I've always found that clicking to unhide actually achieving the opposite effect anyway, because a lot of curious people like me would go ahead and click and find out what the person said anyway.
For Twitter, I always do that, but for some scenarios, I'm surprised by how wrong the algorithm flagged those comments.
Really.
But then let's passing a joke and it's flagged as sensitive. But
So, Stevie doesn't have a sense of humor, so it doesn't shock me that these things will get it wrong. Anyway,
but at least one thing's for sure, you can still speak your Chi or your Dagba in your house or whatever and get away with it.
Really? Yeah, that's true.
These are trained on English words, not on. Probably the closest we get is French, Spanish. Another languages. I mean, that's how cyberbullying happens in the Ghanaian Twitter space.
Without Twitter noticing it.
You might need to train the AI in geo-specific tweets or whatever. However they go about it. Anyway, do you think it affects free speech? Who gets to decide what's offensive?
I think the society should decide. Right now, it's like is the tech company that is deciding what's offensive and what isn't. And I feel that job should be given to actual regulators, because you realize that when it comes to standards or respect to what these platforms display or not. You realize that it's platform specific. Like for example, Twitter markets Twitter as a wholesome place, but then they don't have any rule that specifically bans the upload of pornographic content.
No.
You realize that you can have it
unless someone flags it. They usually don't.
They don't really care about it. And that one, if it's consensual, if the person put their own thing there, that one, they'll most likely not take it off or take it down. But then we have platforms like Instagram, where even if you plug OnlyFans in your bio, you can be shadow banned. You can be shadow banned, and then
why she's been banned?
No. Was it 3 years or so? Instagram deleted her picture. Or like she
posted something.
Yeah.
No, but shadow banning is not necessarily you being banned from the platform. It's like when people search for your name, they can't find you again. So unless people know your handle, they can't see your account. That's sort of like shadow banning. So there are some people, I don't really want to mention their names, but then when you search for them, you can't find. The CEO of Barstool Sports, and David Portnoy, or is it Portnoy or
on Instagram?
On Instagram, when you search for him, you won't find him. Mike Malak too, I think he also has the same issue. So so they reduce your visibility so that people can't really find you. Yeah.
Wait, sorry to cut you, but does that mean that those following them? So if you follow them,
you see their content too. But then if a new person is trying to look for you, unless they try hard and search for you, you can't.
And basically, there's no chance you can show up in the discovery page no matter how many hashtags.
Exactly. And the funny thing too that these people are verified, so it makes sense that the verified account should come before the fake pages. But then only the fake pages are there, and the verified account is not there. Yeah. So
isn't that like paradoxical in the sense that the very thing they're trying to prevent, fake accounts might actually be doing that?
Instagram is sort of trying to push this wholesome, kid-friendly platform, or family-friendly, not necessarily kid-friendly, family-friendly platform, where people are, even though you are free to air your views and everything, but then there are some strict restrictions and rules that you must follow. And when people disobey it, whether through the fact that they post R-rated content, or the fact that they insult people, or the fact that they are abusive, no matter which of the community guidelines that they go against, but not necessarily go against to the extent that they'll be kicked off the platform, you'd realize that they just shadow ban them, so they reduce your visibility. That's all.
I guess taking it away in a way that, like, if, for instance, a verified account doesn't pop up, and then like I make a burner account, like supposedly burner account, for that shadow banned verified account, I could basically do damage with it, but still stay within the confines of the community guidelines, and might misinform people who are trying to follow the account to search for that account, thinking that is.
What are the chances a burner account can garner that traction?
Well, regards to like NBA Twitter, there's been scenarios where NBA Twitter or NBA Instagram, well, like some page posted something about Steph Curry or something, and they thought Steph Curry was naked or something, but wasn't him. So Golden State Warriors have to, like, the official team
disclaim it.
Page have to come out and disclaim it here. So things like that happen.
Anyway, next big story from Forbes on 11th October. This one's particularly interesting.
Is Kylie Jenner back?
Hey.
Is she back to the billionaire list?
No, this is not related to that. This is WhatsApp is soundly beaten as stunning new alternative goes live. What does this mean? Basically, there's an app that is offering more than WhatsApp is offering and threatens to basically usurp its popularity. So what app is that? Okay, let me read the article. While on the surface, WhatsApp remains king of messaging hill, beneath the surface, there are some worrying signs for Facebook's flagship platform with its 2 billion users. WhatsApp can seem unstoppable, but it has some weaknesses in its functionality, in the way it works. And above all, it has one deal breaker for many. It's Facebook ownership. I can't agree with that more. Anyway, so what are those functionality weaknesses? Well, there's the continual lack of genuine support for multiple devices, the option to link apps on your phone, tablet, PC to a single account. Then there's a serious flaw in its backup option. Hey, that one the ball. Okay, which is required to transfer message history to a new phone. Those backups fall outside WhatsApp end-to-end encryption, and that's a critical issue. So the chances that someone could hack you are higher. WhatsApp voice and video calling are excellent, fully encrypted, perfectly integrated into its messaging. Single-click calls for the groups we use daily. But those calls, video or voice, are constrained to our smallest screens. And that just doesn't work anymore. WhatsApp knows this. Multiple link devices and desktop calling are reported in the works. That basically is in the pipeline. But in the meantime, I'm really looking forward to it. But in the meantime, we're turning to the competition. I think it's given their skill. That's how come to introduce such an upgrade, or usually they roll it continent by continent. If you realize, when they even run the WhatsApp P, it was in South America and India. But that also makes
is it still running?
But actually, that's Facebook's model of deployment. Deployed to a specific user base before.
Okay.
Well, do A/B
father like son, isn't it?
Experiments. So based on that, then they know whether to go to another place or not.
No one ever starts rolling out a new feature in Africa. We are so damn pissed.
Except African tech companies.
Of course, you have no choice. You have to play your home turf.
You said no one. You said no one.
Well, I mean the big tech. Anyway, can you believe that even in Africa we use VPN to enjoy some services? And it's not because our government has banned it. It's because they genuinely don't want to work here.
Like, I still don't understand why 2020 we still don't have Spotify. I feel like Spotify is better than Apple Music. No shit. I mean, no one should come and cancel me for saying this. I've been seeing it. But that's my personal preference.
Personally, I think Tidal has a very tiny library.
Okay, why are you giving me that? Tidal by Jay-Z, right?
Yeah. Anyway,
I've been listening before them. I've heard good reviews about it.
Yeah, it's cheaper, I hear. Okay, so all of which makes WhatsApp much smaller, but much more exciting. Upstart rival Signal, a potential giant killer, is in the space. Signal is a modern-day messaging disruptor seeking to repeat the trick WhatsApp itself carried out all those years ago before the Facebook acquisition. Signal was designed to put first security. That is its USP. WhatsApp usually uses a tweaked version of Signal protocol itself, and historically, this approach made for a clunky Signal user experience. So basically, what are they saying? An option with better security, cross-platform availability is coming, and it's coming for WhatsApp's launch money. Do you think it will get it?
I don't think so. I think Telegram is already doing that. I don't know about. I mean, I could be biased.
It's very popular.
Yeah, that's a problem though. But Signal is also not popular, so I don't actually understand why. Because the reason why I'm saying Telegram is becoming popular is because I went for this should I say youth camp? It was a high school camp in Ghana, and most of the participants who came, the people who had just graduated from high school, most of them preferred Telegram over WhatsApp.
Yeah, true.
Which was very interesting to me.
Up and coming.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of pirated content is available on Telegram, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Why?
Telegram's file limit is 1.5 gig. So a lot of channels.
He knows I'm sure if you go to his phone or iPad, you see a lot of pirate groups.
Yeah.
You've been like 10 or 15.
But interesting fact, you guys know during the recent Hong Kong protests, there were a lot of the protesters, because their main apps were being flagged for, were being monitored for dissent, they switched to Signal. And the Chinese government who actually wanted Signal to hand over the details, and they didn't. So that was one of the defining moments that made Signal like a top security app. And that's
Signal,
really
that's selling point. They actually, theirs is total security. But my problem with Signal is that only like 3 people use it. And if I were to put it, I'll just move to Signal. Because that one day I trust that no one will come and stress my life out.
But Telegram security too is very high, I think.
Yeah, Telegram security is very high. I feel like Telegram is the very, should I say, the innovative kind of messaging platform that no one like literally cares about. Just because like WhatsApp has.
It's like the guy who thinks that when he gets rich, he'll get all the girls. Then he gets rich and he doesn't get the girls, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" Like,
the guy who is told that when you go to school, when you study hard, the girls will come.
Yeah, that pathetic nonsense.
or when you graduate, you get a job and become rich.
Oh God, don't do that. I'm getting PTSD right now.
If I had to go back in time, like all these people said that, I'd be like, I'm not serious.
I mean, if you don't want me to live my SHS life to the fullest, just don't sell me on that BS. I mean, the kind of lies.
But the university is very easy to pass. You just go, you sleep, decide not to go to class, then you pass. All right, all those people, what were they thinking were fools or what? But we believe them.
But I realized that
imagine if you took that advice at face value and you actually did it. You re-sitting your life away. Anyway, I mean, it depends on the next story
you are in, though. Depends on the university you are in.
Okay, so or you probably graduate to crappy grades and you'll be unable to think of your next step in life if you want to go the academic line. Or you could become a stripper, like Obin. Anyway, next.
Histio.
Anyway, next one. This one will probably interest Obin in particular. He's been making a lot of noise about Microsoft Edge and how it's like a big deal. It's like a Chrome challenger. I didn't believe it until I saw this story. Apparently, he's right. And I actually got an update on my laptop with Edge, and they actually wanted me to export almost everything from Chrome, like literally wanting to.
Right now, since they are running on Chrome, the compatibility is like almost 100%. So it makes it easier. Me, I've been using, ever since I mentioned it at first, I've been using Edge. Do I even know what the actual?
What's Chromium? You said it. I don't know.
Chrome. So
Chromium is the browser engine that.
So Google is helping Edge beat its app, its web, its offering a service.
They are paying
open source technology.
Yeah, and they are. Okay. I'm sure they'll pay us. Do they pay?
No.
Or they're running it like how Android is open source.
Yeah, exactly. Because Brave is also. I don't know if you know the Brave browser.
No.
Brave browser is also.
It's Opera. I think Opera 2 will be, because Opera looks a tad bit like Chrome.
I'm not exactly sure about that.
So it's like,
I mean, for people who like using the dark web and all that, you know about Brave browser.
Yeah, I don't use the dark. It's been years since I went.
It's like Tor.
Dark web.
It's like Tor browser.
Oh, like once you install, you can just click. You have new window, new private window, new incognito window with Tor. It's just there. Just have to click. And the default search engine is DuckDuckGo.
Okay. Yeah. 11th October from Forbes again. Headline: Microsoft Edge declares battle with Chrome with these exciting new features. This is by Katie O'Flaherty. Okay, hope I pronounced that right. Microsoft Edge has declared battle with its biggest rival, Google Chrome. Since when were they even in the picture? Anyway,
Microsoft Edge, they've upped their game, because from Explorer.
So have they decommissioned Explorer? Like
I think
stopped it.
I think it was August. It was August that they officially killed it also. Yeah, I think so.
I actually thought it's just a transformation. I never knew that they were different.
No, I don't know. So on my work laptop, they literally sent an update to, because we have some of our applications running on Internet Explorer. Just said to switch to Microsoft Edge.
Okay.
Just came up like that.
But it's all Microsoft, right? Explorer is from Microsoft. Yeah. Okay, all right, sure. All right. So Microsoft Edge has declared battle with its biggest rival, Google Chrome, with a bunch of exciting new or excellent new features for businesses and consumers. Microsoft Edge browser is growing in popularity. It's number 2 to Google Chrome. What happened to Firefox? I thought Firefox was like in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, Firefox is there, but you have to understand Microsoft's user base, because Microsoft's
because it comes pre-installed with the OS, so by default they are popular.
They can just push it. They can force push updates to you, and then one way or the other, people will update, and then they can hook to it, and then that leads to user retention. Right? Yeah, I feel like that's what happened to Bing, though. I don't know.
And he's saying that he actually discovered it. It was forced down your throat, to be honest.
I think they do that, though.
No, I think mine was okay. I need to download Chrome through Edge. Then when I use Edge, I realized that
now when you do that, it comes up.
Exactly. I realized that Edge is not that bad. I mean, it looks like Chrome, so let me just use it like that. It's been like 3, 4, 5 months or so.
Yeah. Microsoft Shadow.
Yeah.
Now it's called bullying your way to the top.
Yeah. Imagine if Huawei App Gallery was downloadable on Google Play Store. What are the chances? What are the chances you'd go through all that hassle? You get it?
Yeah.
So yeah. Now Edge is hoping to grow further in its market share with the launch of a plethora of new features. So what's new?
Safari in the mud.
Many of Edge features are aimed at making shopping online easier and more private in the run-up to the massive holiday season as people shun the shops due to coronavirus. In a blog, Microsoft detailed new Edge features, including price comparison in connections to help you find the best deals. Okay, well optimized. You can use this in Edge by adding a product to a collection and doing a one-click compare. Meanwhile, Bing rebates. Bing is not a browser. Oh, no, okay, they don't have a browser, do they?
No.
Meanwhile, Bing rebates, a feature that makes earning click cashback easy, is now live in the US. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is basically what's going on. Microsoft is adding more goodies.
I feel like Microsoft is doing what Google should do, but isn't doing, in the sense that Google doesn't do this. It allows developers to do that and basically push to an extension web store. So if you basically want,
but Google has a store itself. They have something,
but they don't exactly push it on you like the way Microsoft is doing. I mean, because if you open Google Chrome, I mean that's familiar. I don't know about others. You don't push like Chrome extensions down my throat. I'll have to actually go through the store
and search for the extensions. Yeah,
exactly. But with Bing, they'll basically like publicize it.
Yeah, it's a bit in your face. That's true.
So it makes sense. Like right now, they're moving pretty fast.
So are you staying with Edge?
Yeah, I'm still with Edge. I mean, but then my work laptop.
You would appreciate the Bing rebates.
Because my VPN day. I use VPN. I've used VPN to chop Facebook saving money car. Anyway, hasty.
Repeat.
Oh, shout. So I've changed my work laptop to Linux basically because of ROS and all those things. And for that one, I've been using Firefox. I think when my main thing is that I'm not really particular about the browser I use these days. Whatever I find by default, I just pick it up.
No brand loyalty with that. You don't care.
But the funny thing with Linux is that Linux sort of forces you to use Firefox.
Yes, it comes by default, and it's actually the first app. It's the first app on the app tree that you see it first. Yeah. So I mean, so I don't really have brand loyalty when it comes to this. I may not be the best person to answer, to answer this.
But I mean, I'm loyal to Chrome. Just that.
It is probably. It is suck memory pass.
They suck what memory.
I mean, has anyone done a benchmark test on like
No.
Edge and all that. Because even
No.
with Firefox, I experienced that with my old laptop. Well, like the more tabs I open, my fans were basically blowing up.
All right. Save us the nerdy talk. Next.
Hey,
Someone. This story
you
is
like jabbing, pal. Which
One day
next
for
story.
Lasha. One day we just go jam for the call top.
Oh, it's not like you guys haven't tried before.
hey, we
Games
have
Reader. Games
Genesis
Reader.
of them.
This is a very interesting and funny story. PlayStation, Xbox, all of them are rationed to basically ramp up production before the holiday season. And this basically hit PlayStation 5 India. Someone in India already owns the PlayStation 5 trademark, and it's not PlayStation. So that's what's in the news.
Wow.
This was 5 days ago, sorry. PlayStation may be struggling to launch PS5 in India as someone in Delhi has already taken the trademark. The news comes via a report from Marco Reactor, which points to publicly viewable documentation showing that a Delhi resident called Hitesh Aswani filed a trademark for the PlayStation 5 name. Sorry, for the PS5, not PlayStation 5. For the PS5 name in India all the way back in October 2019. Charlie, this is serious mischief. Wow.
But
PlayStation itself.
But I think PlayStation, I wonder why PlayStation didn't didn't purchase an international.
They should probably have bought it. They should buy a lot of trademarks.
I mean, it's very obvious. The naming scheme is very obvious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Adele's album. The next album, I think it was 19, 21, 23, then 25. If Adele doesn't go and trademark 27, someone can take it and trademark it. If she uses it, the person can sue it. It's obvious.
Yeah. So showing that a Delhi resident called Hitesh Aswani filed a trademark for the PS5 name in India all the way back in October 2019, while PlayStation itself only applied for the intellectual rights earlier this year. Someone was not on top of their job at PlayStation. Anyway, at the moment, both Aswani and Sony's application for the right to use the PS5 name have been opposed, suggesting that the matter is currently being worked out by the Indian government's respective regulatory body. The guy just wants to cash out. That's how it looks.
He can cash out big time.
Big time.
So basically, this means
I'm
that...
really surprised how Sony is like
this. So basically, this means that no pre-orders until this legal issue is over. So if you're in India, in India, just PlayStation 5 in PS5 India. So if you're in India, you have to wait till the court cases are settled.
Hey,
no, you can ship.
Imagine that the people in the gaming community then catch a little bit.
Yeah. He's set himself up for quite some trouble.
But this reminds me of there's this, before Volkswagen launched in Ghana, someone actually went to create a Twitter account.
Welly Giddel, I know her. Welly.
Expecting that when they come and take it. And like pay for it. They didn't mind
yeah, that lady,
they went on to get their own username and snubbing her. Very sad.
Next interesting story. Could Microsoft be en route to dampen Windows in favor of Linux? This is a story on October 9.
The whole Microsoft is Windows. Microsoft was built on Windows. I'm talking about their cloud infrastructure, where Azure or...
Well, if you let me read, we'll all find out. You know that, right?
Yeah, I forgot. That was part of the whole.
Rishi.
Well, left I just go jail for the call top.
Anyway. Boys, I beg. Anyway, Microsoft Linux is the next evolution of the Microsoft desktop operating system, argues Jack Wallen. Maybe this is an individual opinion. He explains why this would be a win-win for Microsoft, IT pros, users, and the Linux community. My esteemed colleague, blah, 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 penned an outstanding piece on sister site ZDNet titled Linux-based Windows Makes Perfect Sense, in which he discussed Eric Raymond's viewpoint that we are nearing the last phase of the desktop wars. Von Nichols posits that the next logical step would be the Windows interface running on top of Linux kernel. So I think Obinda answers you. It makes sense. It makes sense, especially given how hard Microsoft is working on Windows subsystem for Linux.
However, are they going to do a flavor? So Salas, doesn't mean they're going to do a flavor of Linux?
But that's what they're already doing with Windows subsystem for Linux. Why you can either choose a Linux, Ubuntu, 16.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a bit lost with this topic. You guys should speak plain English. What does this mean?
I'm coming to Maxwell before we come to you. I'll come. Okay. But isn't that one just to run the terminal?
But there are a lot of people on the podcast like me. You should answer me. I matter.
Maxwell, answer me. I better need to understand something first before I can.
You can run. So within the Windows system for Linux, there are plenty of configurations on it. Like the same way you're able to install VMware and run a Linux OS on it. As if like you to have a Linux laptop. That's the same thing with Windows system for Linux.
Okay, probably maybe
I have to do a lot of configurations.
Probably because I think I downloaded the one for Ubuntu, but then the only thing I could run was terminal.
Oh yeah, I mean like your basic interaction with Linux starts from the terminal. But if you want to add interactions like OS and things, the other things you have to download as well.
Okay, Maxwell, please, Maxwell, want his attention. So
nonsense. Sorry. Talk. What does it mean? All of this.
So basically, Windows. So should I explain the Windows subsystem first?
Yeah. I think it will be prudent.
Yeah. So the Windows subsystem for Linux is basically mimicking the Linux OS on Windows by like doing like a
clone.
Yeah, basically a clone, because Microsoft realized that I don't know if you realize most people use like Windows machines. Usually install Linux as
is Linux that popular? I have literally never used it.
It is very
with the
Android runs on Linux.
All right, sure.
I mean, like if you want to understand what it is, Android runs on Linux.
Most servers also run on Linux.
So does it mean they'll be phasing out Windows OS entirely?
I don't think they will do, but since
is it a smart move if they did?
No, I'm sure they are trying to merge it.
For me, I think in terms of enterprise smartphone, for companies who use a lot of Linux-based servers and applications, yes. But for general consumer-based applications, no, I don't think so.
Oh, right. Let's be honest, a lot of what you said went over my head, but it's all good. It's all good. That's fine.
No, like, sorry, not intuition, but someone like Maxwell, no shade, wouldn't need Linux.
Yeah.
No shit. Don't worry. I've never used it before.
Yeah, exactly. But people like us, like myself, will not be like where like one.
I was actually forced to download Linux because of certain applications were solely for Linux operating systems. So I use Windows on my main and Linux on the office.
So Linux is typically serving the tech community, right?
Yeah.
No, not like necessarily consumer, not necessarily the consumer tech part, but more of the developer tech.
That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
I mean that translates also into consumer products as well too.
Yeah, but in the end, those who are more skewed towards the consumer side will not use it. Like for example, a tech reviewer may not necessarily you need to use Linux, but then they'll review the latest tech and all. But then someone who deals with let's say servers, someone who deals with like the intricacies of a computer would want to really get closer to computing. Who wants to really get closer to computing? Would rather be comfortable using a system like Linux as compared to this is something like Windows. What I hate about Linux is the fact that if you want to install something, you have to update everything before you can go ahead to install.
I actually counter that by grouping my projects in virtual environments. Well, like if I'm working on a particular project, based on what I'll use, I basically sort of like virtualize that portion and then just make sure like dependencies don't affect.
This topic, the Silas, the seat talk too much. Let's move on. Next one. Next one. Yeah. Facebook says it will ban all political ads indefinitely after November 3rd elections. So, yeah.
But Facebook, they'll lose money. They're not free.
Apparently, Mark Zuckerberg says a chunk of their money comes from small businesses, not big corporations.
It makes sense. It makes sense because the small businesses are a lot as compared to the big organizations. But then these big organizations can also find other ways of creating dummy companies who fund, because one person, like for you can actually fund advertisements on, let's say, Silas's page. It's possible because I've realized that Kwao is Suman, the MPP. He actually funds adverts on Nana Akufo-Addo's page. Yeah, so sometimes you see paid by, then his name is there. So
I think he's a Prempeh boy, by the way.
Oh, okay. I don't know how that affects what you're talking about, but okay.
I don't know why I said it, but as well.
But did you know that Maxwell movie? Take it like that. You know Berserk is
going to... if the rules were reversed, the way Maxwell will hit you just because you just say.
But you know Berserk is going to meet the president, and the president posted it that 6 is coming.
Okay, so what if Facebook Facebook bans political ads? Let's get to the program, okay? Facebook bans Facebook will ban all political ads beginning after. I wonder why after. Anyway, after November 3rd election, the company announced Wednesday. Politicians have previously spent large amounts on Facebook ads. The Trump campaign bought over $65 million, and that can build like 14 district hospitals in Ghana. Has bought over $65 million in Facebook ads since July 1, while the Biden campaign has bought
July 1 or 2020?
July 1, 2020. So apparently Facebook ads are that expensive. Wow. While the Biden campaign bought 65 million in Facebook, 45 in Facebook ads within that time. The move comes after months of mounting scrutiny over the company's handling of misinformation and criticism of its policy against fact-checking political ads. Facebook has also been weighing how to address possible misinformation after polls close, including potential premature claims of victory while votes are still being tallied. So this is Facebook's big announcement. Apparently, it's met the approval of a lot of people because it's not every day Facebook wants to give up cash. So that's what's making news. Do you think it's basically an attempt to be in the good books of the public since they've always come under scrutiny, or it's a genuine effort?
I think it's because it's crap.
That's all I'll say about this.
All right. So yeah,
because they are trying to look good in the public eye.
Exactly.
Okay, so basically that should wrap it up for stories, main stories. We'll want to look at the Apple event next. I think Salas should take us on with that one. So Salas.
So today, it was a major event everyone Apple fanboys are looking out for. So Apple just finished its high-speed event. So it's called High Speed with 5 rings based on like the infographic that came out about the event, where it finally took the wraps off the 4 new iPhone 12 phones, which have all new designs and will all support 5G wireless networks, even though 5G is not really mainstream yet. Just some few parts of the US that have access to it. But Apple is being futuristic and I'm looking at it. And then also they also released.
They're actually late to the 5G party. Don't speak as if they are taking.
Yeah, but I mean, I find out like they're releasing because the companies that released phones are not adding 5G to their flagship phones yet, or there are some
Samsung has 5G
for the S20.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, really, with AT&T.
You should know Apple fanboys, they live their own world. Until Apple does something, no one else has done it. So,
even OnePlus has 5G enabled.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm very sorry. I don't want you are falling.
No, to Apple until today, 5G didn't exist. So Apple until today, 5G didn't. See the phone they released. They went a step back externally, then they went astro forward internally.
I can't believe I'm falling to the stereotype. Wow. Like Adisha said. But anyways, going on. So so Apple released 4 new iPhone 12 phones. That was like a mouthful. So you have the iPhone 12, iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So knowing Apple, phone aesthetic and design still looks pretty much the same. But then they're basically saying the iPhone 12 has a new design with flat edges that harkens back to the iPhone 4 and iPhone 5. So I saw this tweet that made a joke of the video that said it's basically an iPhone 5 without a charger and an earpiece.
What's the pricing?
The prices, that's from with the iPhone 12. It starts from $799, and then
it's a 12 mini.
No, it told me it's six. Yeah, they told me it's $699. iPhone 12 $799. iPhone 12 Pro, I think it's $999.
$999, yeah.
Pro Max goes in that magnitude. So $100, yeah.
And they've increased
those are base models though.
Yeah, they've increased the base model capacity to 128. So meaning now you can actually
what
buy
about the other product?
At first you couldn't buy a base model because it was like 64 gig, which was very small.
But interesting thing is that the iPhone 12 Pro Max enables you, so like with the 3 back cameras, you have like a 5x optical zoom, which is I think comparable to was it Huawei or Samsung that had like the 50x zoom in their flagship phone. I forgot but one of them had it and it was pretty cool. Apple is also adopting that. So and you also have LiDAR sensor for things like augmented reality application and the faster
blah,
Apple also
did they introduce the
Apple up their game?
Because it looks like
yeah. I was coming to that.
Okay.
They finally were able to nail the air power.
No.
No, it's not air power. If you look at the initial air power design was basically like a huge flat pad that can charge your Apple Watch. Basically,
they got the coils wrong and was overheating. That's why I heard.
No, not necessarily they got the coils wrong, but the coils were interfering with each other, so they were heating. They overheating because their plan was that no matter the direction you put the device, it should charge.
Yeah.
But then wireless charging, since it's electromagnetism, that's basically since electromagnetism.
I know there's an actual wireless pad charger. That was the concept that Apple feel that.
Yeah, but it was big. It's huge. I think Liu unboxed it.
Yeah, that's how come I know.
Yeah,
they have an Instagram page though,
but it was huge. That's the only problem. Apple's one was very slim. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure can you blame Apple? They had to sacrifice one either functionality for aesthetic or aesthetic for functionality.
And they always sacrifice functionality for aesthetics down there.
Yeah. But Apple is noted for at least within 2 or 3 years, eventually functionality meets aesthetics. So that is why the MagSafe chargers is available. So with the MagSafe, it's basically like a safety feature, ensuring that you don't ruin your cable or charging port, or either your MacBook So remember, the 2012, 2013 MacBooks had this patented charger that like doesn't. So like if by mistake you happen to like drag your charger, it doesn't pull your laptop along. So MagSafe is bringing that back for laptops. Sorry, MacBooks. Sorry, emphasis on MacBooks, not laptops.
Okay, cool.
MacBooks.
But Silas, how about other products? I heard that they discontinued their audio products like Sonos and Beats and the likes. They took them out of their stores and they were bringing their own audio products. What did they have?
So basically, the only audio product they are keeping right now is the Beats. So aside the Apple. Oh yeah, Beats will still be there
because they own Beats.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, they own Beats.
Yeah.
So the only one they are keeping is what's the name? Oh yeah, the HomePod Mini. So the new HomePod Mini is smaller than the original model with a new rounded shape, like the fully sized HomePod, which has stacked controls, integration with Siri, and then comes in two colors, space gray and white, and is powered by an S5 chip, which first debuted in the Apple Watch Series 5, and will be available on November 16th for $99.
That's cheap.
So yeah, that's very cheap. And I feel like Apple really made a smart move with the HomePod Mini because they are leveraging their partnership with Beats and then Shazam. So they're doing serious audio engineering with the HomePod. And
I'm sure that's why it's cheap. That's why it's cheap because the engineering wouldn't be much. The research and development.
Yeah, exactly.
The Apple product $99. That means they use like $20 to make it too.
Oh yeah, I mean right now Apple is going.
They have to get the wild markup all the time.
Exactly.
Oh no. Yeah, they have by 2030 Apple is supposed to have 100% carbon free emission for their product development and all that. So
they should change the design. The design is emitting a lot of carbon.
This design, the
new iPhone design, it's nasty. That notch, they should do something about that notch. It's long overdue.
But what's the problem with the notch?
It's nasty.
When you use the phone, okay, I mean used it. Sorry.
It's nasty.
He's trying to pull. Used one. Sorry,
you see what he's trying to pull? It's nasty. Compare.
Let me ask you, Maxwell. When you were using your iPhone, did you notice the notch? Like, did it bother you in any way?
The time I had the iPhone, the notch was actually very new in the market. So it seemed very minimal. But now with Infinity U and teardrop and under display, it's a bit invasive. So, I mean, that technology has really sort of...
It has overstayed its welcome.
I would say that my question is that does it in any way hinder like your user experience with your phone?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really.
Exactly.
But the real difficulty with Apple, why they can't really ditch the notches, because they haven't figured out their depth sensing face unlock. They said that is their real challenge, because to be able to embed that under the screen would mean that it will have some trade-offs. It's just some plain TikTok. They'll figure it out. I'm sure they're just withholding it. That way they can charge you more for it in their next release. That's how they work.
I mean, Apple is show fix. and Apple is also so the reason why they launched 5G with the iPhone 12 is because they are partnering with Verizon to sort of integrate that into the iPhone 12. So, but that won't be available for other countries except the US or in countries where Verizon operates or where you basically have 5G infrastructure. So if you have an iPhone 12 and Verizon is your same carrier, you basically have 5G or you have access to 5G. So for 5G fanatics, that is sort of some good news about that.
Well, there's no 5G fanatic in Africa because you can't blame us. We don't have 5G.
What did you company?
I think we're using 3.75 with makeup.
Oh, I don't think so. MTN is advertising 4.5G. So
yeah, 0.5. Are you sure we can pay for that?
I think we can do. But funny enough, I feel like MTN has made 4G cheap. I could be wrong, though.
They've made fiber
4G,
broadband. No, they've made fiber broadband cheap, but then the fiber broadband no be 4G they pass inside. It's not they use no be 4G.
Wait till you say no be 4G.
This little no be 4G. Now and then.
I think we should have a discussion on how, like, what infrastructure goes into the telcos for them to like tag mobile carriers as LTE or 4G. Yeah, because sometimes when I guess
need an expert,
it really makes me question whether I'm using 4G.
I think the LTE, the L stands for latency because that's all we get. Charlie,
that's a good
solution or whatever they call it. Masa, Charlie. Okay. All right. So that basically is a wrap for this episode. So you know the usual. Let me just run you through what we discussed. There was the Apple events at the tail end. We talked about Facebook's ban, Signal, which is threatening to usurp the dominance of WhatsApp, although I wouldn't bet my money on that. Also, Slack introduces stories, Microsoft Edge and Chrome basically kick off a heavy browser war. And also Windows plan to basically integrate Linux. I didn't quite get that story, but yeah, that's what we discussed. And that was basically for this episode.
The way you spoke about it. Microsoft is trying to...
You lost me. I'm going to be honest. So that basically is it's for this. Is it for this episode, dude? You have to work on that. That's clumsy. So that's basically it for this episode of Self-Taught Novice. Salas.
Okay, just impose me back.
Okay, let me do that again. So that's basically it for this episode of Self-Taught Novice. So do catch us.
You can't finish.
Until then, it's bye.
Bye.